Anahit had been sent out to the tributary above Lake Sevan to check runoff samples after heavy rain. Routine work, the kind she'd done 100 times, checking turbidity and mineral content before the water reached the lake intake. She planned to be back at the station by dark. The rain had other plans, and by the time she finished her last sample, the light was already failing over the water. She was packing her kit when she saw the woman standing in the shallows downstream. Barefoot, pale dress soaked to the knee, standing perfectly still in current that should have pulled at her, facing away toward the deeper pool where the tributary bent around a stand of willows. "Hey, are you okay?" Anahit called out. Thinking she'd have to help a stranded hiker back to the road, the woman didn't move at all for long enough that Anahit's professional habit of noticing things kicked in before her instinct to help did. The water around the woman's ankles wasn't moving right. It should have broken and rippled around her legs the way it did around every rock and reed in the channel. It didn't. It flowed through her like she wasn't fully there, no disturbance at all, no wake, nothing. Anahit stopped walking. She'd grown up hearing the old word for it from her grandfather's stories, half forgotten until this exact moment. NHANG. But she didn't need the word to understand what her own eyes had just shown her. She backed up a step instead of forward, and that was the only thing that saved her enough time to think. Anahit. The woman turned then, slowly, and called her name, not shouted. Just said, gently, the way someone who knew her would say it, and for one terrible second, Anahit's body wanted to answer that voice more than it wanted to survive. She looked down instead of forward, forced her eyes onto her own boots, onto the ground, and made herself study it with the same clinical attention she gave a sample site. Because the ground told her something the woman in the water couldn't lie about. There was a clear line a few meters up the bank where the wet, dark mud ended and dry, pale stone began. The high water mark from the storm runoff, and everything below that line still glistened faintly, even in the fading light. Everything above it was dry. Anahit. She didn't look up again. She backed toward the dry stone, one careful step at a time, boots finding solid ground by feel, while the voice behind her kept saying her name. Closer now, wetter now, less patient. Her heel found the dry stone line and she stepped fully onto it, then 2 steps further, onto ground that hadn't been touched by the flood at all. The voice stopped mid-syllable, cut off as cleanly as a recording switched off. She allowed herself one look back. The shallows were empty, no woman, no disturbance, just the tributary running the way tributaries run, indifferent and ordinary, like it had never held anything but water at all. She filed her sample report at the station an hour later with hands that hadn't fully stopped shaking, and she added a line to her own field notes that had nothing to do with turbidity or mineral content, a private note for herself about exactly where the high water line had been that evening, and how far back from any wet ground she intended to make camp from now on.